Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I am specifically talking to my clients that I've been working with for years now. This is a outreach to see how you're doing. All right, let's get back into communication. I have been planning for really the majority of the end of 2023 and going into 2024. We're gonna start seeing a whole lot of financial crisis happening. A macro level, obviously, is what we're seeing now, but also on a micro level in just individual households. I can tell you for the last couple of months now I want to say 1 out of every 2 to 3 clients that I'm acquiring, new clients, are coming to the table with very low cash flow, in some cases negative cash flow, right? I have this whole ministry of finance I've been running, dealing with so many people in negative cash flow positions, paycheck to paycheck, zero cash flow, barely cash flowing over $100, $200 or so. And then I'm also looking back in my history of all the people I've worked with, right? So again, this video specifically targeting you that have already done business with me in the past. You've worked with me, you've done phone calls with me, we've had success, and then there was a disconnect, death in the family, wife, spouse, husband, a kid, a mom, a dad, somebody passed away, a real estate deal didn't work out, there was a tragic event, an accident, you lost your job, any type of crisis that has affected your finances. Please remember that you have full access to me. You can book calls with me. We can get back into the loop. Don't feel like you're going back in time. Don't feel like you're losing traction. The only way that can happen is if you allow it, right? Every crisis is an opportunity, okay? If you look at it from that lens and you're able to maximize your experience going through that crisis. Yes, it's gonna be tough. Yes, there's gonna be challenges and obstacles, but just maybe you might be preparing for your blessing. Maybe that is the test. That's the muscle you needed to build so that you can be trusted so much more for your future, right? So I'm just gonna take it to the whiteboard real quick. Basically, any client of mine that has not communicated with me for more than 6 months, 6 months or longer with no communication, you haven't booked a call, right? My main primary concern is doing a financial check-in, right? Seeing what your progress updates are like. If you're in a financial crisis, please reach out immediately. Again, you already have my calendar. You already can book calls. You just look in your email box history, type in my name, you're gonna see all our communication, get right back into the mix. I wanna do a financial needs analysis, lifestyle assessment on where you're currently at, how can we prepare, especially if you lost your job or there was a passing in the family, and really that's drained a lot of your finances. Or maybe you were doing velocity banking in 2020, 2021, and then 2022 and 2023, your interest rate on your line of credit tripled, right? It went from a low 3-4%, now it's at like 10, 9.5, whatever the case may be. We need to go back to the drawing board and see, okay, is there another bank we can work with? Because there's HELOCs right now in the marketplace where I can get 1.99% for the first 12 months intro rate just by switching to a new bank. 3.99, there's 4.99, there's 6, there's 7. There's all these intro rate locks right now you do for 6 to 12 months, give you that boost, right? To really ride out this high inflation storm that we're going through and really just turn your whole picture around. Maybe you just fell off the wagon, right? You were doing velocity bank, you're doing great, and all of a sudden, after all that tremendous results and all this cash flow you got, you went under this velocity banking illusion that you now have all this money and you started making moves, making investments, and things didn't work out. So whatever it may be, if you haven't communicated with me in 6 months or longer, you need to reach back out. I've been sending out emails. I always do this to try and keep up with everyone. But you got to do your part too. Your part is simply booking a call, right? I can't force you to book calls with me. I can only encourage it and help motivate any way I can. There's clients of mine that are successful. You're doing great. But we haven't communicated in about 6 months or longer. Love to do a check-in. Love to document your success. Let's run the numbers on the board. I'd love to go back in time, pull a video that I did on you, and then show an updated video via those numbers. I know my audience loves that. I've done that before in the past where I show before and afters. So would love to do more of that. I want to document your success. I want to figure out how we can collaborate. I want to talk about legacy planning, right? and finding your successor. And how do we scale success for longevity, right? Because look, once you hit your quote unquote success, that financial number you were looking for, that passive income stream that you were looking for, you're going to enter new problems. Problem one, how do we maintain this? Two, lifestyle creep, right? As you make more money, naturally your expenses and lifestyle is going to increase. So how do we just pay attention to that? Make sure that the gap we created isn't being shrunk by macro things, right? And that's literally what's happened to a lot of folks, where in 2018 to 2021, let's say we increased your cash flow by $1,000, $1,500 within that time frame just by eliminating debt, reducing expenses. And then between 2022 and now 2023, prices have skyrocketed on a lot of different things, and that cash flow has closed. So now instead of having 1,500 extra, now you're at 1,000, or 900, whatever that number may be. How do we go to the next level in our personal finances once we've eliminated a certain amount of debt and you got your credit up, you got access to capital, your debt leveraging, you're stewarding the money well? Okay, how do we start thinking business, start thinking legacy, success planning? How do we find a successor, right, to carry the torch in the family, keep it going? Planning for, the day that you leave that career, let's say, or that position where you're no longer able to produce because you're just getting older, right? And figuring out what that looks like, what life looks like in 60s, 70s, right? How do we continue to fulfill our purpose in life? So it never stops, right? Just because you get success doesn't stop. Constantly need to be aware of it, because it can sneak up on us, and then we can go back in time. We don't want that. Now, over here, I just wanted to put what I would consider a successful client. I think some of us, right, some of my clients, some of you guys, think you hit some level of success and don't realize you're nowhere near what you need for longevity, right? For example, being debt-free is literally 20% the issue, the problem. Like, being debt-free is not the solution that's going to give you the amount of money you need in retirement, right? In terms of cash flow, passive income, from Social Security to retirement, maybe a pension, and having a paid off home. You're going to be really surprised that you still need more money, right? Even with a paid off mortgage, no debt, paid off cars, everything's done, and you got your pension, your Social Security, retirement account, and you're like, still don't have enough money. I can't really do what I want to be doing. And I worked my butt off to be debt free, and now I still have this problem, this cash flow problem. So I want to lay out, what I believe someone that is these certain attributes of success in the beginning, but just know that this is still like surface level, where it's like we've gotten to a very, very good, secure point, but we're not quite there in terms of freedom. So I would say any one of my clients that have become debt-free or debt leveraged, and when I say debt leverage, the debt that you're leveraging is creating cash flow positive, and it's offsetting your borrowing costs, right? So debt-free or debt leverage, you got 3 to 6 months or more of money saved for emergencies, 720 plus credit score. You got life insurance in place. You're protecting your human life value in case anything happens. You have a cash flow of $2,500 per month, conservative, consistently. So that's conservative. In reality, maybe you're like 3,000 or more. So minimum 2,500 per month or more in positive cash flow. And we have some kind of a business that we're building that helps, reduce taxes and helps with cash flow long term. We put a lifetime income plan in place, and we got the legacy plan in place. I would say this is ideal successful client to go from over here when you first work with me to then getting over here. I would say majority of my work is complete. If you have all these things, then majority of my work is complete. Then you assume all this. Now it's just maintenance, building relationships and connections to keep multiplying the fruit. I think a lot of us get confused of, once I hit my number, let's say you hit your number, why do you stop? Think about it. Why do you stop when you just become debt free, or you hit that income goal of $25,000 a month, $20,000 a month, whatever it is? Why do you stop? Ask yourself that. If it worked, whatever we were doing to get you from where you were to that number, 20,000 a month, 25,000 a month, 30,000 a month, whatever the number is, if it works, why do you stop? Why can't we continue to increase? And the reality is, what you're going to get rudely awakened here, you're not going to realize is you get to your number. You're making 5,000 a month, making 7,000 a month, Then you get to 20, get to 25, you get to 30, and you think you're good. And then all of a sudden, lifestyle creeps, inflation, taxes, expenses tend to go up and will continue to rise year over year. And before you know it, you're living paycheck to paycheck again, right? So maybe you get that streak of a good 5 to 7 years. No, this is great. Then all of a sudden, all I did was try to maintain. What happens is you don't maintain. You're gonna plateau and you start doing this, start going down. So if we're not constantly figuring out how I can expand my gifts, my skills, my talents on this planet, if I am constantly asking the question of what's my purpose, right? Honing in on the purpose, refining it, right? Continuing to learn, to get better, study to show thyself approved, right? To keep going, to build what it is that you've been set out to build. The work doesn't stop. The work needs doing. The work doesn't stop. To think that you're just gonna drift off into the sunset, maybe. I just haven't met that person yet. And the person that thinks that they can just have their mortgage, couple properties, little business, like if you start to constrain and conserve, you're not playing offense while simultaneously playing defense, you're just gonna end up getting hits. Life's gonna hit, gonna hurt, it's gonna set us back. But if we're constantly in growth, never stopping, this doesn't have to be a bad thing to never stop working. If we look at the word work, its true meaning, work means to become who you are. If you're constantly refining, redefining yourself, constantly improving, and you're making the best out of your situation and you're impacting other lives, you can't help but expand and grow and help others grow with you and get to the top of that mountain. This way you're not alone at the top. These are things I want you to be thinking about, because I would hate for you to get just blindsided. And some of my clients have experienced that, where it's like you're working with me in 2018, 2019, and within like 2 years, 3 years, became completely debt free. And then it was about a 6-month or longer gap, no communication, life's good, right? You're successful, you're doing things right. All of a sudden, financial crisis hits. Maybe that was COVID, or now maybe it's a death. Maybe 2023 going into 2024, it's a housing market crash, your business failing, something happening. If we're not playing offense and defense at the same time, we're gonna experience some hurt. So I'm trying to avoid that hurt from happening, or at least prepare for it. Prepare for the obstacle, prepare for the crisis, which is an opportunity, prepare for the challenges that come our way. Life is hard, right? Just is what it is. All work works. All work is profitable. Work means to become who you are. So never stop becoming who you are. Never stop being who you are. That's simple, right? So those are the attributes of a successful client. Again, 6 months or longer, no communication, please reach out. So specifically talking to my clients here, I want to make sure that my community, that we are growing together. We're fulfilling our will, God's will here on this planet, right? We're fulfilling our purpose. We're impacting lives. We're helping. If you're doing really well financially, right? 30, 40, 50 plus thousand a month, 10,000 plus in cash flow. Maybe you're doing 7 figures, 8 figures, right? You've worked with me and you've really grown over the years. You got all these things in place. Let's document that success. Let's figure out, how do we pass on those attributes, those characteristics to your kids, to your downline and the family, cousins, nephews, nieces, friends, colleagues. Like, we need to dominate. We need to have dominion. We need to dominate the space, create a culture of successful people so that it can be that much smoother of a process for the next generation. That they don't have to relearn, redo what we built, crashes or gets ruined. We can literally pass things on effectively and efficiently, develop that work ethic for people to develop, that they don't abuse the wealth that we eventually transfer over. So let's do these things. Let's have some fun, all right? So this video will be posted publicly on the YouTube channel, but it's also going to go directly into your email for my clients, and I look forward to reconnecting with you guys soon. For those clients that have been active, let's keep it going, all right? Crisis is coming, 2024. Got some gurus, content creators calling it the year of chaos, the year of destruction, the year of war, right? A lot of things coming. Let's prepare. Let's make sure we got our community in line. Let's make sure we got your family on the same page. Listen, we are going to expand. We're going to 10x. We're going to grow. We're going to make it happen. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and we'll be talking soon.